Good evening, everyone. That was lame. Good evening. All right, that's more like it. I'm so excited to see you all here. This is a really hot mic, so I'm going to hold it a little bit further away. I'm going to let them know that same thing. My name is Mark Hitchko. I'm the artistic director here at Steeple Concerts. I'm also the director of music here at St. Paul's, and on behalf of St. Paul's, I'd like to welcome you all to this concert. This is our second concert of the season, one that is mask-free, which is a welcome change right from the previous few years. And we've got a really cool program for you tonight. We're presenting Jonathan Wintringham and a couple of friends, Michael Djupstrom, hold on, I'm going to say that right, Djupstrom and Clancy Newman are going to join him on a really cool program. You're going to hear some world premieres today, so you're here for history in the making, so it's a very exciting thing. Just a couple of obvious things. Make sure you don't have any noisemakers on, so silence all your devices or set them to stun. That's a great place right now. So take the time to do that while I'm yammering through the other stuff. After this program, I want to invite all of you to join us for a wonderful reception that is directly behind us there. The problem is you can't quite get there without having to go around a lot of turns. So just keep taking right-hand turns when you come out until you find Hammersley Hall, and you'll end up in the building that is right there. And you'll get a chance to meet with the artists and talk about the wonderful music you just heard. So please join us for that. Also, this couldn't happen without the incredible generosity of our donors. You'll see on the back page a list of those people who have made generous contributions to make this happen. But I'm going to tell you, look around here, and you can sort of guesstimate the number of people that are in the room or online, and you could see that ticket sales do not cover our costs. So we really want to encourage you to please consider making a donation to help offset this and to help us continue to bring these concerts at a very affordable price to Westfield and the surrounding area. So if you're moved, you can make a check donation. You can go an online donation. Go see Kevin in the back. Give him your wallet, your credit card. He'll take anything you have. If you've got a Rolex, we're always looking for a good Rolex. No, but seriously, any size donation goes a long way to making sure that we can continue to bring these wonderful events to you. Speaking of which, you'll see a list of the upcoming remainder of the season. In January, we'll be joined by a fantastic percussion duo, so you can check that out on the first time. And then the Thalia String Quartet will be joining us in March. And then, of course, the end of our season is a spectacular spring concert where we have our traditional St. Paul's Choir and Community joined by a professional orchestra right here as well. So that's in May. So we do hope that you'll plan on joining us for future concerts as well. We do want to take a moment to acknowledge our first corporate sponsor. The New Jersey Workshop for the Arts has underwritten this program, and we want to encourage you to go there if you want to learn how to play an instrument so that you could be up here one day. So give them a shout out. You can check them over. They're right just around the corner from us, so thank them for their support, and I do hope that you consider studying there. So without any further ado, I would love to bring in Jonathan Wintringham and Clancy and Michael for this lovely program. So give them a warm round of applause.
Okay, swapping instruments here, sorry, give me a second. First of all, thank you all so much for coming. It's really awesome to look up and see a big audience to play this music for. One of the things you'll notice if you look at the program, I think about 90% of the music tonight has never been heard before by anyone, at least in this form. So we have several world premieres, we have two very skilled composers on stage, I arrange a bit. So almost everything you're hearing tonight was put together just for this one concert and this experience, so we hope you enjoy it. The first piece was Amy Beach's Dreaming. Mike and I recorded an album together of art songs a few years ago, and we came across Amy Beach's work, a little lesser known than her romance, but we loved it and we hope you enjoyed it. The next piece we're going to play is by a Japanese composer, Takashi Yoshimatsu, and his music is many things. He didn't have formal musical training, so in his music you often see the influence of rock, pop, jazz, a lot of things that we don't commonly find in the classical genre. This piece is a little bit different than that, and it's specifically set up to, let's say, evoke one kind of emotion, and that's in the cycle of snow, in it snowing and the snow drying up and releasing. So this piece specifically is very much kind of a new take on a pastoral in a sense. It's very atmospheric, very dreamy, very beautiful, long soaring lines. So it's, to me, and I know Mike and I have played a lot of his music in the past, we love it because it's very fresh while also still feeling, very nostalgic. Without further ado, I'm gonna switch to the other saxophone and we hope you enjoy. This is Three White Landscapes by Takashi Yoshimatsu. Gonna pass the microphone over to Clancy now.
Hello. So back in 2015, I had this idea for a project where I took whatever song was the #1 song on the US Billboard charts on the first of every month, and I turned it into a solo cello piece. And so during the course of that month, I would write the piece, learn it, memorize it, and then eventually perform it on a video on YouTube that I would post at the end of the month. And I did this for about 16 months, and it really was quite a project, I must say. I learned a lot about a lot of things. I learned a lot about the cello and what it can do and what it can't do. And I learned a lot about pop music as well. And I often found myself at the end of a month, I would see that like there might be 2 songs possibly that might be vying for the top spot on the first of the month that was coming up, and I would be rooting for one and against the other. Sometimes I got my wish, sometimes I didn't. And with this next song that I'm going to play, I did get my wish. I think this is a nice song. And this is Ed Sheeran's Thinking Out Loud.
Wow. How about another round of applause for Clancy? I would complain about following that, but I guess I programmed, so it's on my own fault. You've got some pretty great program notes for the composer for this next piece. This is the Groovetudes by Jonathan Russell. So what I'll do, I'll fill in some gaps with a little bit more of the personal story that goes behind the commission. About 3 years ago, when I started talking to John Russell about this, I was spending a lot of time with my brother Chris, who's many rows back there. And I used to enjoy sharing some of the recordings of the music that I was working on. He is not, these days he was a pianist, but he is not a classically trained musician. So I always felt like there was a barrier, a certain type of music that I didn't have to share with him that was maybe not so enjoyable. I didn't feel like me and my brother were the type that would sit there and really kind of connect over Beethoven necessarily. So I started talking to a composer friend of mine, John Russell, who writes very heavy metal, rock-based, rock-influenced music, and all kind of groove-based music that has some kind of syncopated groove to it. And I told him, I said, I want music that I can play for my friends that are non-musicians. I want music that I can play for general audiences that they might really appreciate. And of course, if you're here tonight, you probably appreciate classical music, I hope. But this next one was commissioned kind of as a third stream, as an in-between. So there's a lot of jazz influence, a lot of rock influence, and obviously groove. So the concept behind this was these groove etudes would teach classical saxophonists how to experience this feeling that we don't always come across in classical music, that's more common in popular genres. So anyway, this is a hybrid of that. It's still very much classical saxophone, but pretty far from it as well. And we hope you enjoy it. These are 3 of the Groovetudes.
Welcome back. We are going to move right along here. So once again, I just wanted to thank you all for being here this afternoon, or this evening, and to thank this trio for being here. They're fantastic, and I'm enjoying it back there in my little cubby hole where I'm running the video and camera and sound. So you can watch this again, because I'm doing this right now. You can watch us on our YouTube channel. So go home and subscribe to our YouTube channel, which you can find at St. Paul's Westfield. And you'll find not only all the services that are streamed, but also all of the Steeple concerts that have been streamed. So you can go back and see the exciting programs you've missed. And if you know in the future that you're not able to come, you can always watch it online later. So if you haven't also liked us on Facebook, you can find us on Facebook. We do all the socials, so hopefully you do as well. And that's a great way to get the message out about our series, about what we do. So if you see a post that we put out there, share it on your wall. Help get the word out so that we can keep bringing people in here to experience the great music here. Just a couple last parting words. Again, I do want to encourage you to consider making a donation to help support this wonderful work. And thanks to our current sponsors and donors who have underwritten so generously to allow this to happen. And lastly, we do hope you'll join us for that reception in Hammersley Hall. Again, you're just going to take a right out of these doors and then take another right and then another right up there, and you'll end up at Hammersley, which is just directly in the building behind us, where there's a lovely catered reception with wine and food and snacks. So you can get a chance to meet with Michael and Clancy and Jonathan and tell them how awesome they are. And we look forward to seeing you at our next event in January when we're presenting the Quay percussion duo. So do plan on coming for that. Thanks all.
The next piece in the program is a work of mine, actually. And I was thinking about it. I would like to say that I was inspired by Clancy's project, except I wrote my piece before his, so I can't say it. But it's quite similar. So in Clancy's case, he listened to Billboard charts. In my case, I was commissioned to do an arrangement of a folk song. But the treatment, the way I treated it, is a little bit the same. So this was a Serbo-Croatian folk song. The original version of the work was for flute and guitar. It was commissioned by a flute and guitar duo in Chicago, and the guitarist came from Serbia. And they wanted to commission a group of composers to each do their own sort of personal spin on a traditional song. And they assigned the song. So they gave me this one. It's called Sejdefu majka buđaše, which means Sejdefu's mother awakens her. And it's a traditional a genre called Sevdalinka. There's a little bit in the program notes if you want to know more about the sort of technical side of it, or you can read the poetry. It's the original lyrics there, also translated into English there. But what I think is kind of more interesting for you guys to hear from my personal perspective as a composer, perhaps, is that the original version was a folk song, so just for voice alone. Then this duo commissioned a version for flute and guitar. And since then, many other musicians asked for their own version. So there was a clarinet version, there was a saxophone version, there was a bassoon version. And at some point, there was a violinist who wanted a piano, because not everybody has a guitar playing friend. So then there was a piano version. And there's so many versions that just keep sprouting. And in this latest version, for alto sax, cello, and piano, I did sort of most of the groundwork, and then we brought it to the trio, and we worked it together until it was created exactly into the version you'll hear tonight. So in Clancy's case, he reworked a pop song for the cello, and he learned what the cello could and could not do. And in my case, I reworked a folk song into a trio, and then the three of us found what we could do better. So I hope you enjoy Sejdefu majka buđaše.
Thank you very much. I'm going to transition now over to the other world premiere on the concert this evening. This piece is entitled Ta-Ryong, and it's based on a traditional Korean folk song that has a lot of bird song and bird calls in it. And as the composer Sunny Soon-young Park is one to do, she's kind of merged this sound world, this sonic landscape, so to speak, with her training as a Western classical musician. The result is something that I am very much in love with. I really enjoy this piece. I enjoy performing it. I hope you enjoy listening to it. But a couple of disclaimers. You're going to hear, best way to describe it. Think of this more gesturally than you would melodically, as a lot of the music you're hearing tonight. There's a lot of drama to this music. There's a lot of sudden changes in character, in color of the music, maybe even some sounds you're not so used to hearing come out of the saxophone. But it's a really exciting and dramatic work in 3 movements, and I hope you enjoy. This is the traditional Korean ballad, Ta-Ryong. Thank you very much. As we transition back to a trio setting here, this next piece is going to start a little differently. We have a poetry reading that begins the work.
Three ships sail from three distant ports, unaware that they are on a collision course. Each night, on each ship, while the passengers sleep, a lone musician plays to the fish and the stars. Late one night, while the sea is calm and the moon full, the ships approach within earshot. Strains of melody cross the waves, and three threads merge to one. As the ships pass within a yard, they slow almost to a halt. But the music doesn't slow at all. No, it becomes a frenzied romp. And all the passengers from all three ships awaken from their slumbers. Drawn by the music, they climb on deck, stomp their feet, and dance. But the moment shared by strangers doesn't last for long. The ships continue on their courses, their sails catch the wind. The tune's thread unravels, the dancers return to bed. And the ships sail on away through the night, the musicians alone once again.
Before we play our final piece for the evening, how about one more round of applause for the composers on stage? They are working at least twice as hard as me. So thank you all so much for coming again. We have a light closer for you. This is a medley of tunes by the very famous virtuosic Japanese jazz pianist Hiomi Uehara. And I've never played her music before on the saxophone, but I've been a fan of it for many, many years, and this seemed like a good opportunity to explore. We've had a lot of fun. I won't take full credit for the arrangement. These two have been very much involved. So this is really, as Mike was describing the process before, we kind of brought the beginnings of this together and then through rehearsals created what you're going to hear tonight. Thank you all so much for coming again. I maybe did not mention this, but I am a Westfield native, and it's really nice to be back here playing a concert. And also to look up and see so many familiar faces and friends and family. So thank you all so much for coming. It means a lot. So we hope you enjoy this. It's about 6 minutes and 3 movements short medley by Hiomi.